Hey guys, glad you stopped by. Tonight, we're going to do zucchini. We're actually going to do zucchini tonight and tomorrow. Why? Because I have a plethora of zucchini. I mean, we're talking pick a shape, pick a size. Look at the size of that one. This was one of those, where in the heck did you come from zucchinis? Because I check it every day. All the way down to your standard size zucchini that's good for frying. And then one that cross-pollinated with the squash that sits right next door to it. You know, and has a really cool squash. Well, I mean, it's all squash, but it looks more like a traditional squash than a zucchini. And that's okay. You know, these, good for frying. These, good for making zucchini lasagna or zucchini bread. Either one will do. You know, and this happens, and I love zucchini bread all the same. But zucchini lasagna, although my mom made it all the time, but she never put meat in it. It was always a meatless dish, just zucchini and sauce and cheeses, and it was always wonderful. Well, it was so wonderful I don't have her recipe, and so I found one. I found one from a site that I have gotten a handful of recipes off of over the years. Or at least ideas from, and that's Natasha's Kitchen. She has a YouTube channel, she has a website. Both are awesome. If you get a chance to check them out, hands down. But so I thought we'd do that tonight for dinner, and we are going to put hamburger in this one. Now you could just as easily leave the hamburger out, or use tofu, or turkey, or you know, whatever your heart desires and your waistline needs, and or you know, whatever you prefer, what you and your family like. I'm just using hamburger. It is an 80-20 hamburger. But and then this is one of those dishes where you could make it take some time, make it a good Sunday meal, or you can speed up the process a little bit by buying pre-made things. You know, the sauce we're using, I made my sauce from scratch. I have a really quick 15-minute marinara sauce that is out of this world. Which I'll leave the ingredients list for down below, but I've already got it made. It's not hard. It's literally saute the garlic in olive oil for a minute, and then dump all the ingredients in and let it simmer for at least 15 minutes. After that, it's done. It's really good. But anyhow, that being said, if you are new to my channel, welcome. This is your first video. I hope you get something out of this video. Check out some of my other videos. If you're returning or one of my new subscribers, welcome back and thank you. Comments always welcome. Just be polite. Think before you type, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. That being said, let's head on down here to the counter, and we'll get started making up this lasagna. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, so we're down here at the counter, and the very first thing I did was make my sauce. And you're gonna need at 24 ounces of your favorite pasta sauce, marinara or otherwise. And right there's mine. I made mine, since I was making mine from scratch, I went ahead and made it up and just set it to the side. And this recipe actually makes double what you need for this, so you'll have extra, which will keep in your fridge for about 4 weeks. So if you make it and you have extra, you can down the road make a small thing of spaghetti for yourself, or I mean, there's a million uses for pasta sauce. But after I got that made, I went ahead and I fried up my zucchini. Right there is my zucchini. And what that does is it solves a couple problems, or a couple things. A, it gives it a nice charred flavor, because I mean, if you can, I'm sure you saw it right there. It's got a nice look to it. Now, you can cook this on your grill. You can, if you have a grill insert for your oven top, if you have a gas stove, you can use it. Or I just fired mine in cast iron because I didn't have anything to light my grill with, and I don't own one of those really cool grills. So I fried mine in cast iron, gave it a nice little look, brought out its flavor. When I did that, when I sauteed them, I put salt and olive oil on them. The salt draws out the moisture. Zucchini is 98% water. It's like a mushroom or any other squash. So you want to get as much of that water out as possible, so that way it doesn't make your casserole, or lasagna in this case, wet. You know, it doesn't have a bunch of water sitting in it. And that's kind of important because your zucchini is basically your noodles. So after I got my sauce made and I got my zucchini grilled up, or in this case sauteed, I've got one Dutch oven right here. And what we're going to do is I've got 1 tablespoon of oil in there, and then I've got 1.5 pounds, 24 ounces, which is 683 grams worth of hamburger, and it's or ground beef of your choice. It's 80-20, and this recipe actually recommended 80-20, so that way you had that flavor. That is 2 pounds pre-cooked of the zucchini, and then, like I said, 24 ounces of the sauce, so, or a jar of pasta sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this browned up, and then when we're halfway through, we can start, when it's about halfway cooked, we will go ahead and start adding some ingredients. Okay, so our meat is about halfway cooked, and I went ahead and I drained some of the grease off of this. You're going to want to drain it down to where you don't want to drain it all down or all off, you know, and rinse it and things like that. But you want to leave a couple tablespoons worth of the juices in there, so that way you get that flavor in the sauce. But you want to get some of that off there so it's not sitting on top. So I went ahead and drained off what was in there at the halfway point. That way I would still have a little bit left. So the next thing I'm going to add to this is 1 medium onion, about 1 cup of diced onion, which would be, I don't know what it is in grams, and I apologize, I didn't. I'll put it down here and look it up. And then I've got 3 cloves of minced garlic, and that's about the equivalent of 8 grams. Once again, I'll get you an exact measurement. It's hard to give you an exact measurement on an onion, or an onion, not so much an onion, but garlic, because it's 3 cloves. So it depends on the size of your cloves, but it's about 8 grams worth. So we're going to go ahead and finish browning up and crumbling this meat and get those onions softened, get that garlic, let them all play real nice. Oh, before I forget, half a teaspoon of pepper right there, and a half a teaspoon of salt to go in there also. The salt is very important. Not only can salt, I mean, I know I've got family that through my entire life that abuses salt, puts it on everything, but when it comes to cooking, salt brings out the flavor in things. And in this case, it's going to bring out the juices from the onion and the garlic and add that flavor into, you know, the juices of the hamburger. Okay, so we've got our hamburger is browned, crumbled, our onions are softened, the garlic smells amazing. Now you want to keep stirring this. I mean, not like heavy duty stirring it, but that garlic, if it sits on the bottom, it will burn, and then you will run into heaps of problems. So the next thing we're going to add to this is I chopped up a 1/4 cup of parsley, and I'm going to put half of it in my meat, and with the meat and the onions and garlic. And then we're going to take our sauce, you know, that we made, or the sauce you bought from the store. We're going to put that in there. I tell you, if you try this sauce, make this sauce, like I said, it takes no time, 15 minutes. And the only thing you're cutting up is some garlic. Everything else is a dried herb and sauce, tomato sauce, and crushed tomatoes. That's it, and it's so good. So we're going to go ahead and get this in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to let this simmer on low for about 10 minutes with the lid on it. As soon as I grab the lid, and start your oven. When you started browning your hamburger, oven at 375. Ugh. There is that. Get this going, give this one more good stir, and then we'll just put our lid on there, and we're going to want to stir this on occasion. So while that is doing its thing for a few minutes, and all we're doing is getting all those flavors to get to know each other. In a separate bowl, we're going to make a white cheese sauce. So first thing we're going to put into this is 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. If I can get it out of there. Just like such. Bloop. It took me forever to learn to like ricotta cheese. It's like I had to become an adult. And it's 15 ounces, 425 grams, and it's the small cup of ricotta cheese from the grocery store, and they sell it everywhere. And to that, I am going to add 1 cup, 80 grams of shredded mozzarella, and altogether I did up 4 cups of mozzarella, and 1 cup's going to go in here. The other 3 cups we're going to use to layer. And then I've got 1 cup, 80 grams of shredded Parmesan cheese. Go ahead and get that mixed up a little bit. And then the last thing we want to add to this is going to be that other 1/8 of a cup, or the other half of your parsley is going to go in here. And then we're going to give this a good mix. Okay, so as I was mixing this up, I forgot one ingredient. 1 large egg, 50 grams. We're gonna throw that in there and then mix that in with it. So sorry about that. So it's 15 ounces of ricotta, 1 cup of mozzarella, 1 cup of Parmesan, and 1/8 of a cup, the remaining part of your parsley, or you can use basil, either one, fresh on both accounts, and 1 large egg. Okay, so our sauce has simmered for its 10 minutes. We got our ricotta filling taken care of, set off to the side. We got our zucchini taken care of to the side. So all we have left to do now is assemble. So what we'll do is we will take, we need a 1/2 cup measuring cup for the first round. Well, you're gonna need something to pour this into the pot either way. But you want to put about a 1/2 cup of sauce on the bottom here. And I'm using a 9x13 pan that I also gave it a light coating of spray with vegetable oil spray. And I'm going to put a little more in there to get it to cover the bottom. And all this does is the spray and this little bit of sauce is going to help the cheese from sticking on the bottom, because we're about to put a lot of cheese into this bad boy. So the layer process is as follows. We'll go ahead and take some of our zucchini and we're going to lay it down on here. And if you're not sure what 2 pounds of zucchini is, it's about 4 to 5 medium to large size zucchinis is what it is. So we'll put our zucchini down, and then we're going to go ahead and take some of our filling and get that put on top. Okay, we got our ricotta mix in there. Now you want to have enough to do 3 layers. So it'll be 3 layers of zucchini, 3 layers of ricotta, 3 layers of mozzarella, and a total of 4 layers of sauce, because we got the layer of sauce on the bottom. So the next thing we're going to do is add 1/3 of our sauce mix that we have left here. And then now that we got our sauce mix on there, we are going to go ahead and add 1 cup of our mozzarella cheese, or 1/3 of what we have here. And now what we'll do is just repeat. So we'll go ahead and do another layer of zucchini, another layer of the ricotta mix, mozzarella, sauce, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we got all our layers in. And getting the last of our mozzarella on there real quick. That, my friends, looks absolutely delicious. We haven't even got it in the oven yet. And look how beautiful that thing is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, and it's really close to my mom's recipe, I think. Like I said, she never gave me her recipe, so I don't know. But I know it had a meat, it had a sauce, it had zucchini, it had the ricotta, although I think she used cottage cheese instead. Okay, so all we have left to do is go ahead and get, I'm gonna put about a 6 or so toothpicks in our casserole, and I'm gonna leave them sticking up because we're gonna put foil over top of this, and we want to make sure the foil doesn't set down on top of the cheese and stick to the cheese. So by putting toothpicks in there, the foil will sit on the toothpicks and not on the cheese. And then we can go ahead and get this in the oven. Okay, so we got her in the oven, foil on. We're gonna let this bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. And once that time is up, we're gonna remove the foil and put it on the broiler, which is that top heating element in your oven. We're gonna put it on to broil without the foil on it for about 3 to 4 minutes to get that mozzarella a nice golden brown. So when I come back, we'll take a look at it and talk about what to do next. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, so we went 45 minutes at 375, and then I went ahead and took the foil off. I moved my rack from the middle to the top, so that way the lasagna was literally only like 6 inches off of that top heating element for broil. And then I let that go for 4 minutes, and then I took it out, and we've been letting it rest for 15 minutes. That way we don't bite into it and it doesn't melt our face. But there, my friends, is our end result. So I did have a little more water than I wanted in the corners, and all I did was take my turkey baster and suck that water out, and that way we didn't have a whole bunch of water sitting in there. And you're always going to have some water. It's zucchini. That's just fact of life. The only way to even remotely get that to possibly not have so much water would be to salt your zucchini as soon as you cut it and let it sit for about 20 minutes, and that'll draw all the water out. But I don't know how it's gonna make the zucchini react, but you can do that. So anyhow, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get us a piece cut, and that way we can give it a try, because I know it looks amazing. My kitchen smells just incredible. So I am excited to try this. Okay, got my piece cut, and like any good lasagna, it fell right apart, but that's all right. That doesn't bother me one iota. I'm sure as it sits, that will stiffen it up some. And I did notice it did puddle a little bit of water in there, so I'll just simply take my turkey baster and pull it out. If you don't have a turkey baster, you can use a spoon and just pull it out a little bit at a time with a spoon. But anyhow, let's give this a try. What do you say? Because like I said, my kitchen smells amazing. It looks delicious. It's colorful as all get out. I can't imagine it's going to taste bad, but let's see. Oh, that is so good. So good. That zucchini is so tender. And there's so much flavor in there. It's like the perfect balance between the ricotta and the mozzarella and the Parmesan and the sauce. It just, oh, that, my friends, is crazy good. One more bite. Oh, it's still slightly melt your face hot, but all in all, not bad. The flavor is amazing, just amazing. And yeah, even though this meal takes some time, even if you skip the making of the sauce, most of that time is spent in the oven. And I think this would be a good, families coming over, friends coming over, a planned meal, hands down. Holy cow, that was worth what little effort we actually had to put into it, because there was none. Give this a try. You won't be disappointed. And yours, depending on the sauce you use, will probably taste different than this one, unless you use my sauce ingredients. Like I said, it's not hard to make at all. But if you use your favorite sauce, and this is so good, so good. Anyhow, let me know if you do give this a try, or if you have a recipe of your own, or there's something different you do. Absolutely, let me know down below in the comments. Tomorrow, as I said at the beginning of the video, we're gonna do zucchini bread. I've got to put a dent in some of these big zucchinis before I freeze them. And why not bread? Zucchini bread is amazingly good. And it's something that you can whip out a bunch of them fairly quick and give them to the mailman and all that. So anyhow, till tomorrow for zucchini bread, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else that you love them and love them very much. They may need to hear it. It's gonna make them smile either way. It's gonna make you feel good and smile to tell them that. And if you make them some of this zucchini lasagna, it's gonna put a big smile on their face. They're gonna have, you know, a whole lot to talk about. It's gonna lead to conversation. You know, maybe a nice glass of wine with this, you know, or grape juice, depending on who you are, where you're at. And there's enough there. This actually feeds 12. So you could literally invite the mailman, the neighbors, you know, somebody that you don't know real well, that lives 3 doors down, that you don't really talk to. Invite them over for a piece, or take them a piece. You know, they'll appreciate it either way, I guarantee it, and you're gonna make a new friend along the way. So, that being said, till tomorrow for zucchini bread, I love you, and I'll see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.